Hi, it's Dreyer and welcome to the Financial Freedom Challenge, where our mission is to help you to create, to grow, to protect and to enjoy a life of abundance. And today I'd like to talk to you about power goals. Now, what on earth is a power goal? Well, a power goal is basically, it's a goal, but it's got 10 times more power than a normal goal. And it's a very specific way where you condition your mind to see that you want in a very specific way, so that you get your subconscious mind to basically help you to get that you want. So there's a process that we follow in order to get to a power goal, and that I call it the power morphing process. Now, the power morphing process is a very, let's call it a scientific method. And the way that I can describe it is it's a process where you intentionally and deliberately and consciously program your subconscious mind to give you unconsciously that you consciously want. In other words, you need to know exactly what it is that you want, because that is what the subconscious mind is going to give you. And that opens up a can of possibilities. So if you follow the process and you do not do the process right, and this is unfortunately what the majority of people do, because they think that they know what it is that they want, but they've never gone through the process, and for that reason there's a conflict between what they want and what they're going to get, simply because the subconscious mind is not going to help them to achieve that, because the subconscious mind basically controls us. And the subconscious mind, the programming that happens there, is a lot faster and a lot more intense than that we consciously can decide on. So between what we want, what we consciously decide and say that we want, and what we're going to get, there's a massive, massive cliff with most people, simply because they do not understand how the mind works. And that is why power morphing is so important. But the power goal is basically, the moment that you know the process and you understand the process, then your power goal, there's a couple of things that I do not need to know how I'm going to achieve that. And I think that is one of the main things, because I see that the majority of people, when they come to me and I say, I'm going to take 2 cents and I'm going to turn it into 200,000 and later on to 2 million, then immediately, but how? You see, and I don't know how. What are you going to do will be the next question. And the truth is, I've got no idea what I'm going to do. So, because I'm giving this information and feeding this information into my subconscious mind. So my subconscious mind will actually direct me, taking into consideration the knowledge and the experience and the skills that I've built up. So this is really, really a powerful thing. Now, some of the characteristics of a power goal is the fact that, as I've said, you don't know how. I don't need to know how I'm going to do it, and I don't need to know what I'm going to do initially, because this will unfold to me. But there's 2 more things that's really important. And the first one is that my desirability must be a 10 out of 10. So the moment that I define that I want, I must be crystal clear and exactly know what it is that I want. Because if I'm vague and I don't know, I can get anything, because the subconscious mind will not understand what it is that I want. Okay? So that's the first thing. It has to be a 10 out of 10, where the desirability, you must be willing to do whatever it takes, because otherwise it can't be a power goal. The second thing is the difficulty ratio. So again, out of 10 out of 10, where it's almost impossible for you to think that it's going to be, that you'll be able to do it. But there must be, let's call it a possibility or a probability that if you really work hard and dedicated and consciously towards that you want, that you'll be able to get it, then it's going to work for you. So if it's just a 3 or 5, the subconscious mind is not going to, out of 10, the subconscious mind simply will not kick in order to help you, and so that you can unconsciously, without thinking about it, attract those things that you need in order to help you to get to that power goal of you. And that is basically what I wanted to tell you is that make sure that your intent is there, and make sure, that's why I keep on coming back to make sure that you know what it is that you want. In other words, what's your intent, and that intent is going to be your power goal, and then formulated that in such a way that you are 100% clear that you are desperate to do it, and that it's going to be damn difficult, and that it's going to take an effort that's going to require you to literally work on a day-to-day basis on that. Now, why is it that some people do not get to the goals? I believe the major reason for that is we've got resistors, and all the resistors are vested within the subconscious mind. So the way that we see a resistor is through our emotions. In other words, the subconscious mind will bring that up, that it's part of the belief system, and we're going to experience it as a pain, let's call it a pain or a problem in terms of our emotional experience, because there's always a feeling attached to this resistor. And funny enough, the moment that I go into this process with someone, we can always identify that as somewhere in the body, always, right? And then again, simply follow a process, because it's the emotional resistor that's stuck within you, but it's vested within your subconscious mind. Okay, so that is why your belief systems, the pivot point that I'm referring to when I'm describing the formula for riches, that pivot point, if your belief systems is not there, you will not have the mindsets, the right mindsets when we get to the surplus part of the formula. Okay, and I thought that, you know, so many people can overcome financial problems this easy the moment that they begin to understand just this one concept. And I really hope that this will be a start for you to start focusing on setting power goals, getting your mindsets right, and as well as your value systems. So the question is, what's your challenge for today? Well, it's going to be very simple. What do you really want? I want you to formulate that to the best of your abilities. What is it that you want? Give it to yourself in detail and write it out. A part of the power morphing process is, you know, we've got different styles, and one of the styles that we've got is what we call a kinesthetic. It's action, and one of the best ways to get that out will be simply to start writing that out on a piece of paper. So, but be crystal clear on, in detail, what do you want, and then the second question is immediately, what are you willing to do in order to get that? In other words, what's your desirability? And then in terms of your difficulty, and then out of a 10 out of 10 or 1 out of 10, give you a marking on that. In other words, a rating. And then, of course, the last one is, how difficult is it going to be? And if it's not a 10 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, rewrite it until it's a 10 out of 10. Sometimes financially it's to bring back the time frame. Instead of making it 10 years, make it 5 years, or instead of 5 years, make it 2 years. But you have to stretch yourself, but not to a point where you feel that it's impossible, that you won't be able to do it. Right? And yeah, that is what I want to tell you basically today. So in closing, always remember that in order to create financial freedom, you know, you must make sure that today is going to be a perfect day, and that you're going to do today what you need to do. And each and every morning when you wake up, make sure that you understand what's your power goal. And then through the day, work towards that power goal. In other words, what is it that I've done in order to help me to get to my power goal? What is it that I've learned in order to speed up the process to get to my power goal? And the third question basically is that you're going to ask yourself is, what is it that is keeping me from achieving the power goal, or the next step to the power goal? And once you've identified that, then simply take the step and say, okay, what's the first thing that I can do now in order to start this process, or to get going with this process? And that is basically that. So it simply means that each and every day you're going to work on taking responsibility. You're going to declare your intent, and this is why I'm referring to this on a day-to-day basis for the last 63, 64 days. Right. You will have to put in the time, and you will have to make time for this. It's going to take effort. There's no ways about it. It's going to take massive, massive changes in mindsets. And I can tell you that the moment that you've got a power goal, life really becomes a lot easier, because it simplifies everything. And then lastly, it's going to take a lot of action, because you actually have to follow the steps. So the moment that you know this is what I need to do, then you have to go out and you have to do it. And then follow the formula and check the results before you start with the accelerator. Right. So you have to consistently do that you're supposed to do on a day-to-day basis, because each and every action that you're going to take, each and every thought that you're going to have, is going to take you either one step closer or one step away from achieving your goals. And hopefully that's going to be financial freedom. So I want to challenge you today to start setting up your power goals. And then on a day-to-day basis, confirm those power goals and start working towards that. Now, as always, if you've got any questions, comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment box below. I'll help if I can. Anything regarding financial freedom. The next point is, remember to subscribe to my blog. That is blog.honestdreyer.com if you're not already subscribed. And if you find this interesting, that's the way that I communicate most of the time with people. You can also subscribe to my Facebook or to YouTube. And then also in terms of my feedback, I've done this morning what I was supposed to do. I'm going to edit this in so that you can see what it is that I've actually done. And then please share this video with other people if you think that it can help them, or maybe you know someone that needs to work on their goals, especially their power goals. And then also maybe you know someone that has got resistors. So if you personally, or you know of someone that's got resistors, please refer this video to them. And if you've got more questions regarding that, maybe I can help. Just post it in the comment section. And with that, I'll see you then tomorrow.